Hello and welcome to Out of the Box on the Games Done Quick Hotfix, the show where if you can watch it, you can run it. We're getting to that time of the year, my friend. The nights are getting longer. If it's anything like it is here, it's still unseasonably warm where you are. So I hope that's not the case too much, and it'll change soon enough, I know. But we're getting to that season, the spooky season. It's time for those kinds of games. Our theme tonight is that all of the stars are out in our runs. First, it's going to be Rockstars with Metal Hellsinger on a new file. That's right, we get a roguelike on the show for runs that are accessible. So that'll be something really special to look forward to. And then after that, we're going to take it back to the original version of Resident Evil 3. I know you're going to see a lot of remakes over the course of this month, and I wanted to show a little something different. So we'll be showing off the stars of Resident Evil 3 with Abby's Corner later on. But for now, it's time. James Swan, take us to hell.
All right. Well, thank you for that welcoming intro, T-Tream. Always good to be here, my friend. A little bit about Metal Hellsinger, made by a wonderful independent studio from over in Europe called The Outsiders. The Outsiders actually got shuttered this week by their owner, so shout out to The Outsiders and all of their crew that are now searching for jobs. So this one kind of goes out to them.
Oddly appropriate in this season, but not the kind of murder you like to see.
Very much not. But to back me up, because rhythm games are very hard to play and commentate at the same time, I've got two of my very good friends on commentary with me. If y'all would like to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, hi. My name's Pickled Human. I have never played this game.
Hi, my name is Ryelcell. I also have not played this game, but I am a runner of a different rhythm FPS called BPM, so I do have some of the knowledge transfers over.
Yep, and thankfully I've had them study thoroughly. Y'all took notes, right? Y'all did the homework, right?
I took notes.
Were we supposed to take notes?
Hey,
look,
we're gonna go.
Suffice it to say that James has done a tremendous amount of cataloging of like how this run goes, not just how they run it, but like down to the individual levels, the power-ups, the way that different routes are going to proceed. So even if they haven't done their homework, the homework has still been done courtesy of the tremendous work of one James Swan.
And
Yeah,
not just
if some
me.
of us haven't done our homework, which I
And
have.
not just me either. This has been a bit of a community passion project in the Metal Hellsinger community. We are a small but passionate speedrunning community. It's been myself and a bunch of other runners in the community working together to make this run happen, to make it optimized, especially over the last 6 months to a year, basically. We've finally basically made it consistent so that once you have made save file data, you don't lose that save file data when you reset for a new file run. I've got demos up on my YouTube channel and also on the Metal Hellsinger guides page, but for now, I think we'll stop stalling and jump right into the run. Sound good to you all?
Sounds great.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Obviously, first boss and final boss of every single run, menuing. We're going to be playing...
There is one additional element of it being a fresh file, which is that it wants to make sure you know how to play a rhythm game and that it's ready to go on your computer. Which, thankfully, as you mentioned, you don't have to recalibrate it every time with the developments that you've made.
Yep, and as this opening cutscene plays, before I skip it, I'll quickly mention we are playing on Lamb difficulty. Lamb difficulty has ended up being the fastest mode for this game mode, for this run specifically. It's a little bit safer. We get 3 respawns instead of 2 or 0, and just a few other factors that go into it. I think we'll see them play out as we go. For now, we're going to skip this cutscene and let the tutorial load up.
Yep. One other thing to notice that you probably already have during this opening cutscene, which is that there are actually some rather famous voice actors in this game, and we won't be hearing from them this evening because James needs to lock into the rhythm. So any extra distractions, including but not limited to some of those famous voices, which I encourage you to look up for yourself. One of them is the narrator of Baldur's Gate 3, if that tickles a few fancies, but yeah, we won't be hearing them in this run in particular. So if you want to hear that, you should check out the game for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. We're starting off the tutorial here with our first 2 weapons. This is the Terminus. It's a blade, and it's going to be our primary melee weapon as well. right now, in the tutorial, most of the spawns are kind of pre-programmed or set spawns, so it's just about getting there and clear them out as quick as possible.
Yeah, so other little things to just explain about what's going on. You see this little meter up top, that is our Fury meter. We keep that as high as 16x by attacking and taking damage occasionally to the beat. Mostly attacking, because we like to stay alive. We keep that up in a bunch of different ways, one of which is using the Skull of Troy Baker, which we picked up very recently, to attack on the beat even when we're not in combat.
Not what it's called in-game, but it is effectively what it is.
Yeah.
Paz is, in fact, voiced by the inimitable Troy Baker.
Paz is very useful throughout the run. That ultimate build-up off of that marionette is actually a very recent addition, just within the last couple months or so.
Oh, cool. So here we've just picked up Persephone, a shotgun made from the femur of an angel. Very sick. It's the main weapon we're picking up in this level, which we're in a place called Voke right now. We've got a number of arenas we're going to go through and just clearing these enemies as quickly as possible, and then we'll run into a boss fight at the end of the level, rinse, repeat. There's a few little bits and bobs throughout, but that's more or less the structure of the game.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about keeping your Fury up. Is this something like a Crypt of the Necrodancer where you need to take an action on each beat, or how does that work?
Yes, you do have to take actions on each beat to keep the Fury meter up. See, when I'm passive, it is going down. And if I take actions against enemies like this, it goes right back up.
Nice. Something that really separates this from 8 Hells, which is probably the most popular category for Metal Hellsinger, is obviously its fresh file. What that means is you're going to see a lot of weapons that you wouldn't normally see in the 8 Hells run because we haven't unlocked them yet. So typically in 8 Hells we would be using the crossbow, and we're not going to be doing that yet because we haven't picked it out. So you're going to see a lot more weapons that you wouldn't actually typically see at this point in the run if it was an 8 Hells run.
Yep, but these are the weapons that you'd be using if you jumped into the run yourself. You decided to pick this game up tonight.
Yes.
Yep, a lot of this run took inspiration from the Terminus run, actually, originally routed by Willow OOP and Shadowfang. At least for the first level or two.
And I have one quick question. I noticed that sometimes enemies, when they're on like one hit, are flashing. Is that kind of like a glory kill, like in Doom? And is there a reason you're not going for it?
Yes, it is, and the reason I'm not going for it is it's slow. See, it just locks me into that animation. And a lot of times I can just finish off enemies faster than that.
Yeah, and especially when you're using a shotgun, the idea of only defeating one enemy at once while you're wielding a shotgun is kind of sacrilegious. I do appreciate that we're getting damage values on our enemies here. It looks like keeping on the beat and keeping the Fury meter up also helps with our damage values, among other things that we'll be seeing more of later, right?
Correct.
I always love it when games have little pop-ups that show you how much damage you're doing. I think Hades has it too. Listen, there's nothing better in any game than seeing the number go up. I think we can all agree.
Granted, especially given that, like, just using these same base weapons on the same enemies, it's almost like an order of magnitude difference between a hit that does 1,000 and a hit that does 48,000.
Yeah.
And then there's just being a DPS like this.
My goodness. Yeah, James just opened up this this boss fight here against the Aspect of the Red Judge by unloading his ultimate with Terminus, which is our main form of DPS during this boss fight. It does, gosh, brought him down to nearly half of his health straight away. My goodness.
The Red Judge voiced in game by one Commander Shepard, at least the Femme Commander Shepard.
And what the Terminus ultimate does specifically is it lets you strike actually on
Caught on jump tree.
double time. But what's interesting is you can't just mash it out. You do actually have to mash in beat with the music, or you're not going to get as many hits out. So it's actually a little bit tricky to do because you do have to be really on beat with the mashing, even though it does look to an outsider like just random mashing.
Yeah, it really does look just like random mashing. My goodness.
Look at that, though. Hit almost every single one of them. That was not easy.
And especially since the
like
particular
mashing.
rhythm, yeah,
It
the
feels a lot
particular
like
rhythm for the
mashing.
weapon is not necessarily tied to the BPM of the music, so you have to lock into that kind of sub rhythm.
Well, the more fun part about the ultimate for Terminus is that it does adapt to the double time of each level that you're playing. So 110 BPM times 2 for
Could go
Vogue.
220, yeah.
So that goes to 220. It's very awkward in Stygia, where the BPM for Stygia is 103 BPM.
Okay. I
Yeah,
can see it.
Stygia is the worst level, in my opinion. I love the song, I love the game, but
Hey, what are we
you
doing
mentioned
right now?
you mentioned you love the song. Let's talk a little bit about the soundtrack. That's something that like may not be immediately obvious to people. You know, it sounds like hard driving metal, but there's some very familiar names and faces in this soundtrack, isn't there?
there are quite a few. Two Feathers and the story writer for this game worked together to make the soundtrack into a story, and then got a bunch of famous metal artists to work together on the soundtrack of this game. So you'll see names like Tatiana Shemeluk of Ginger and even Serge Tankian of System of a Down pop up throughout the game.
Yeah,
So-
and we're in a little, you might notice we're not in a typical level right now. We're in this little mini arena. This is our first Torment. So the Torments, which we have just defeated now, are like little mini challenge levels in between. And the reason we take the Torments is because they unlock little buffs for us. I never call things by their names. I always have my own little things. But
My notes here say sigils is what they're called, but
Yes.
Thank you,
in this
sigils
case,
is the
ghost
word.
rounds. Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
looks
so-
like we've got a lot of fans of Alyssa White Blues of Arch Enemy in the chat. So she does sing the soundtrack for Stygia, as you can see right there. So this one's for you, Chad.
Absolutely. Yeah. The sigil that we just picked up is Ghost Rounds. We're actually going to do another tournament later on to get Ghost Rounds too. But basically the way Ghost Rounds works is every time you switch weapons, it will give you 2 free rounds to use without reloading. And when we get to the Ghost Rounds 2, that's going to be 4. It basically allows you to get infinite ammo just by switching weapons. And, you know, it might sound shocking, but that's pretty good. Infinite ammo is pretty helpful some of the time.
It's definitely one less thing to have to worry about while also making sure every shot stays on beat.
And it's going to be specifically, or I should say, especially helpful when we pick up our main weapon of the run, which is Vulcan, the crossbow.
And speaking of Ghost Rounds, if you see down on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, I have the weapon buttons bound to my thumb buttons on my mouse, so it's even easier for me to swap back and forth quickly between my weapons.
So James has just picked up the new weapon in this level, the Hounds, Cerberus, and I don't remember the name of the other one, but it's a pair
Orthos.
of dual revolvers
Right, yeah.
that give us a lot of range and a decent amount of damage.
Yep, and an extremely powerful ultimate, aka auto aim.
Yeah,
I just
Orthrus
spawn
is
a
actually Cerberus's
Shadow
brother
Clone.
in Mythos. If you're gonna have a pair of revolvers in a video game or a pair of pistols, you want them to have as much personality as the likes of Ebony and Ivory, or you've got some proud forebears to meet to match up to, and I think this game does a fine job.
Yep, Cerberus and Orthos canonically made out of the remains of the Unknown's hounds, so that she would always have them by her side. They are good dogs.
So James, when you get a second, the thing I'm curious about in like figuring out how a rhythm game maps to a 3D space with kind of Doom style mechanics overall is what part of the run comes down to like you being in the right place at the right time for when enemies spawn in and knowing what to do with them, versus how much of it is like open-based, like awareness of the open space and trying to figure out and adjust to changing circumstances?
Depends on the level, really. Especially with this run.
Yeah, I suppose it is different when you don't necessarily have the weapons available to one-shot everything from the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see some arenas where James remains, he finds like a high point where he can see the entire area and just kind of blasts everything he sees as it comes out. Other times he's being a lot more mobile, staying fluid, keeping out of the way, remaining aware of his surroundings, because often you'll encounter groups of enemies that are in tricky little spots, firing little fireballs at you and stuff.
Very much like a Doom game. Shout out to the modern Doom speedrunning community. Actually had a few members of MDSR helping me out with learning a lot of movement techniques and arena mapping for this run as well.
And you can see the little red glow and the muffled sounds right now. We are on a little bit of low health, which isn't intentional, I don't think, at this stage, but that is actually a strategy that we're going to see come back later, staying at low health.
Yeah, these little green crystals that you see around, those are called Styx crystals canonically in the game, and they heal you. Green good.
It's funny that green is good because the letters showing the big numbers of damage that you're doing are also red, but those big damage numbers are also good. So green is good and red is good.
But honestly, all colors kind of good.
Yeah, it's true. We're on to our second boss now, as you can see, using that ultimate again, the Terminus ultimate, to just really, until we pick up a different weapon a little bit later on, that's going to be our main source of damage for boss fights.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's Chad saying, can't help but headbang. I do not blame in the slightest anybody in chat or in this call who might be headbanging along to the rhythm.
Absolutely.
You can literally see me headbanging right now, but that's mostly because it helps me stay on rhythm.
Definitely. I am also one of those people, like playing a racing game, I will lean in my seat, and if you don't do that when you're playing games, I don't know how you manage not to.
Dude, I do that so hard. I accidentally kicked a hole into my window screen playing Rocket League one time because I lunged forward so hard. I had my feet resting on the windowsill, and I was like, oh, I gotta get it! And I lunged forward and kicked a hole through my screen by accident.
Okay, I mean, I'm glad it was the window screen and not another screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Bad pattern, that's fine.
And that's
why we play on land.
But, yeah. Our fury meter, you'll have noticed, has gone all the way down, making us also lose the vocals in the music, sadly. But we'll be back in no time at all.
But that's why we route our ultimates like we do, especially in the early game, because the early game in this run is exactly when things can go wrong the most. It is the most different routing in terms of anything we do, and bluntly, it's not an easy game, even on easy difficulty, especially when you're trying to go fast. And this tournament does not make it any easier.
Got it. Oh, yeah. I see the twist up there on screen.
Yeah, well,
that's part of why I was so excited to have a roguelike on, because it's the kind of game that you would feel like should be the least approachable for something like this, for the idea of a pick-up-and-play show.
You'll notice
seeing how much work you put into. Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah, we're on to a new tournament this time. This is the Death Edge tournament. I'm sorry, Torment. Words are hard today. But James actually intentionally took a bunch of damage there at the beginning, because this tournament, you get more damage when you are low on health, and it's going to unlock a sigil that does that exact same thing. So from now on throughout the run, once James finishes with this tournament, he's going to be trying to stay at like critical health whenever he can, because that'll allow him to do up to 50% more damage.
In case you didn't think things were dangerous enough already.
Oh, yeah. In case they weren't dangerous enough already, it actually helps to be low on health.
I enjoy how precise, how the sound design of the game here, all the shot and the sword slashes seem like they were designed to complement the music. Like they really don't get in the way of the music that's being played in the background.
Mm-hmm. All right. We got through Death's Edge. And I didn't take a death. And that was not bad. That was not a bad Death's Edge either. Woo! Yes, there was a full heal. I do see you in the chat.
The twist said no healing. Okay.
The devs forgot that Terminus allows you to heal off of its ultimate. Its ultimate makes enemies drop healing crystals when you kill them with it. So while you can't gain health from slaughters and there are no Styx crystals, if you use Terminus's ultimate, you're perfectly fine. Works even on Archdevil. I have tested it.
Now we're entering Yelm. I think that's how this level's pronounced. The third of the hells. James is going to go to work on the shield Cambion here. And then shortly, I imagine, there's going to be another Cambion that he's letting damage him from across the way there. We're not quite at critical health yet, but...
I believe it's whenever those...
whenever we get the red
up in the corner.
The red fringing. Yeah.
Yep.
And it makes the run a lot harder when you're always very close to death, but I think we can all agree the worst part about having to stay at low health is it makes the music a little bit muffled.
True.
The other tricky thing about staying at low health now is these green crystals, we kind of don't like them anymore. We want to stay far away from them, because if we break one on accident, those heals can be magnetically attracted to us, and we may end up losing a 50% damage buff, which is a little slow. It's not the end of the world. We can damage down whenever, but it's not ideal.
You're telling me green is bad?
Green's bad now, I know.
Green no longer means go, I'm sorry.
It's a roguelike. Things change fast here.
I see. That is the Vulcan we've just picked up now. This will be our main damage dealer for the rest of the run. It is, oh my, as you can see.
You could probably immediately tell why.
Yeah, so typically the Vulcan is kind of balanced because it only has a 2-clip capacity while doing a whole bunch of AoE damage. But you might remember we have the Ghost Round sigil. So James is able to reload almost instantaneously just by switching weapons, and after this level, we're going to do another Ghost Rounds Torment that's going to get us Ghost Rounds 2, so we're actually going to have 4 shots in it. So, yeah, as you can tell, with Ghost Rounds, the Vulcan just becomes so incredibly overpowered. It is the weapon for the speedrun.
Yeah, this is one of these arenas where James just takes a perch up on this
you got a
little
good
platform
vantage
here,
point.
and he just kind of pivots and shoots absolutely everything around him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the size of that AoE blast.
Yeah.
I mean, there was an era in gaming where every shooter game needed to have a turret level, so... But yeah, of course, you also recognize that not moving around in a game where everything is coming after you, and also you're staying at very low health, is a dangerous proposition.
It is. That's kind of what I think makes the Metal Hellsinger run so interesting, is because in most arena shooters, you literally never stop moving the entire time. I obviously, like I said, I'm a BPM runner, and most of the time I will literally just like jump in place to make sure I'm not getting hit by anything. But Metal Hellsinger, there actually is a pretty, there's a lot of levels where it's actually advantageous to take a perch and stay there, and I think that makes it really interesting. You don't see that very often in arena shooters.
Oh, we're still jumping around. Don't worry.
Oh yeah,
sure.
well,
as we were going up that spire just now, I liked that there was some optimized movement tech, including the double jump and an additional jump that we haven't necessarily seen so much during the combat arena portions.
Yes, that tower climb is really the one major skip that we have in the run. A lot of our skips are just movement optimization.
Sure. It's funny you said James didn't like stairs. I imagine hell is nothing but stairs.
Well, if you listen to Paz's commentary, he says, "What would hell be without an infinite staircase?"
There you go.
Yeah, little known fact, Mario 64 actually hell.
That would be the eyeless for you right there, just getting me with an acid pool. That's fine. That acid sticks to you and ticks you down over time, so I'm just gonna glory kill that just for emphasis. It's personal with that eyeless.
Curious to see how James is going to damage down at this point.
Well, I actually have a plan for that. Where's the marionette that's stuck in the geometry? Oh, I got stuck in the geometry all the way over here. And that's why we use the Vulcan, because the Vulcan can go through geometry with its explosions.
Ah, very good.
There we go, damage down once again.
Yep. If you couldn't tell, Yelm is probably the least stable level in this run, just by the sheer number of backups I know and have prepared at any given moment for it.
Yeah, I have in my notes here, Yelm is always the run killer.
It used to be Gehenna until I got good at it.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Well, the thing is I actually learned how to play Gehenna thanks to the new file run.
Ah.
And if I recall some of my notes as well, Yelm actually has one specific thing that makes it just a little bit more awkward to play, which is the Vulcan is in your second slot instead of the first. So when you switch weapons, typically in a non-fresh file run, like an 8 Hells run, the Vulcan would be in your first slot, so it feels a little bit unnatural when you're switching between to get the ghost rounds. to go to your second slot, and if I recall you saying correctly, that just makes it a little bit awkward, and we might occasionally see you shoot the revolvers into the ground.
Yeah, you've seen me do that a couple of times already here. You are not incorrect there. Thankfully, it's only for one level, so... Yelm is really the challenge point for at least runners coming from the 8 Hells run, I would say. For new runners, though, I'd say it's probably a little easier. So if you want to get into this run right now, it's probably pretty accessible. I'm currently the only time on the leaderboard, so please come and beat my time, learn the run. I'm working on putting together tutorials as we speak. So please, I would love to have people come and learn this run. Here we are into our final tournament of the run, Weapon Trickery 2. This one can go very wrong very quickly right at the end if we end up on Persephone instead of any of the other weapons, because it's just slower.
The gimmick with this Torment is just that every time you get a kill, you automatically switch to a random weapon. So you don't really have a whole lot of control over what you do. I was talking to James a little bit about this when he was practicing earlier. And correct me if I'm wrong, James. The general idea is to, you know, when you're dealing with these large enemies, if you see the Vulcan crossbow, you use it while you can. And hopefully try to end with the crossbow, but it's not always possible.
Pretty much. And don't die.
Oh yeah, not dying. Good.
It helps. And of course, you're also fighting against the timer, which in the classic kind of shooter challenge way is ticking down and only goes up when you kill something.
Yeah, unlike the regular Hells, when you die and you more or less start right where you left off in the middle of a boss fight, what have you. If you die in a Torment, you have to start the whole thing over again. So it's a major
that would be a minute of time loss, because you're most likely going to die in this one right at the end. But thankfully, we almost did that, but we didn't. Because we ended up on Persephone. We got the worst case ssignario, and I forgot to swap to the Vulcan here. No, I forgot to swap to the Vulcan, which is even worse. The sigils are automatically upgraded. So again, as I said, the final boss of this run is truly menuing. I lose about 10 seconds to menuing every single run I do. Because this is all...
While you menu back in, I want to let people know that if they're curious what else is coming up on Hotfix, both tonight and in general, you can check out this week's schedule and explore the full season of shows at gdq.gg/hotfix.
And you know what they say, what would hell be without menuing?
Right.
Oh, you're not wrong. I guess parkour at that point?
True. But only upstairs.
Yeah, hell is actually a Windows dialog box that is made in the form of a staircase. So it's both a menu and a staircase.
Right. It's one of those error dialogues that pops up in like a cascading stair-like shape the more times you click.
Yep.
It doesn't actually dispel the previous window. It just makes a new one with the same instructions on it. Abort, ignore, retry.
It's actually slightly different instructions every time, so you really have to be paying attention.
Oh, no.
Next major skip here. Blink and you'll miss it. Looks easy, but very difficult, so here we go. Got it perfect.
Yeah, you definitely made it look easy. But I'm not surprised. You were looking up as though you were willing yourself past the point you were trying to land on. So I could tell a little bit of the tension from there, but you made it look very simple.
Long story short, you're dodging death planes and also an invisible wall there.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, wow.
That skip only saves time if you get it on the first try.
Naturally.
Otherwise, you go around. Or go again and lose time.
our final weapon of the run, the Hellcrow boomerangs.
Correct.
We won't see a lot of them initially, but when we come to the boss fight, they dish out damage like nothing else. We'll be mainly using it for boss fights going forward, switching to the Vulcan crossbow for clearing most of our little mobs.
Yeah, the reason they do so much damage is because they have a hitbox going out and coming back as boomerangs. And they also have sweet spot hit or damage on headshots. So you're doing bonus damage on the way back and bonus damage on headshots. So you're doing bonus damage on bosses. So it is very, very good. It's not as good as the Vulcan for clearing out groups of enemies, but it
it's
is
peak
the
single
best.
target damage.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
At extremely high, at the cost of extremely high precision, of course, as though this
Yes.
run wasn't difficult enough already.
So what's the difference between a siege behemoth and a regular behemoth? I feel like it's just the big hat. They just have a bigger hat, but they still die in like 3 or 4 hits. Am I correct in that assumption?
Kind of. One has a hook for an arm, one has a cannon for an arm, and does a lot more damage and has a lot more health.
Gotcha.
Missed that marionette, that's fine.
I assume marionettes are this game's version of the kind of low-level cannon fodder that always seems to hide one last one somewhere for each wave.
Feels a lot like it, because they love to get stuck in level geometry, and sometimes they get respawned, other times they don't, as you saw earlier.
Yep, we're getting to see the boomerangs for the first time here in a boss fight, and you can tell every single time he hits a headshot, he's hitting it twice, and it is just plummeting down the boss's health bar.
Something about throwing a boomerang rhythmically just sounds like a really satisfying activity.
Shout out to Destructor, who initially routed out this little safe spot. Only consistent on Lamb.
How many of the enemy spawns are like set spawns where you know where it's going to be every time, and how many of them are kind of a random spawn or like a mix of the two where it could spawn at any one of these points?
Good question. We're still kind of figuring that out. Boss fights seem to be very consistent. Levels are a little more flexible. With boss fight arenas, things seem to be a lot more standard. With certain arenas, marionettes seem to be very standard. But in terms of the run itself, stronger enemies seem to have more randomized spawn locations.
The ones you would hope wouldn't have randomized spawn locations seems to be the ones that do.
Pretty much. Coming up next, Gehenna, the level that is the bane of most speedrunners' existence, but I credit actually this run to helping me learn how to actually run it in 8 Hells. This run really just slows it down and helps you realize where a lot of enemies' common spawn points are, and it actually helped me figure out how to do a certain arena that everyone in the speedrunning community almost collectively hates a lot faster than we were doing it, and now I'm the IL world record holder for this level.
Yeah, just taking some time at the beginning of this level to damage down, as always.
Lesser Seraph encountered, and then we just run right past him. Whoa.
Yeah, I know we've already said it, but I absolutely love the sound design in this game. The way that the sounds the Vulcan's rounds make almost sound like part of the drum is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and getting to play a shooter while also playing along with the music. Oh, what could be better, really?
I mean, Tchaikovsky was the first to do it with cannons.
That is true.
So this arena is the aforementioned Problem Child. It's a really cool arena. It's great for moving around in, but we like to have our sight lines, and that these pillars all throughout kind of make it difficult to stay in one place for us.
Oh yeah, it's a great casual player arena.
Yeah.
Not so great for speedrunners.
And there's
Especially
that ultimate.
Especially if like a damage pool could come out from a place you can't see it. You know, you're trying to keep it 5% health at all times. I could see how that would be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, as I was going to say, we just saw there right at the end, the Vulcan's ultimate is a black hole that pulls a bunch of enemies towards itself. Obviously, as we're using the Vulcan, that is great because kind of just brings everyone into one place so we can hit them all with a bunch of AoE shots.
Certified one-shot territory right now.
Nice. Chat having a SpongeBob Band Geeks moment, arguing whether or not a cannon is an instrument. I mean, even if you don't think it's a musical instrument, it is still an instrument of destruction. So there's that.
And you know
Precisely.
what? It could be an instrument.
Okay, we have the ability to sample and change the sounds of things. So somebody get out there, make some sort of portable cannon, safely, of course, and then figure out how to turn that into something even cooler sounding.
I think we do have portable cannons.
I'm imagining something with a bunch of holes on it, like a flute, so you'd put your hands over it to try to...
Oh, I like that idea.
Don't try that at home. That seems...
You say, and now I'm just imagining you trying to fire something out of that cannon as you use it and burning your hands. So, yeah.
Yes, these are not instructions of experiments you should try. We will repeat. These are ideas, but I actually like that idea. For the record, I think we do have miniature cannons. I think those are just called guns, to be fair.
Yeah, I suppose so. The first principles of how those weapons work is essentially the same. And it seems like the principles of how this boss fight works are also broadly the same. trying to make sure we have our boomerang loops unlocked for as long as we can until we have to move around. I like just dancing away from those salvos so we can keep track of where they are. I feel like one of the primary differences of a run like this with as many actions per minute as James is doing is like our ears and our brains are working in quarter notes, and James, with all the extra actions that he has to do, is probably thinking in
about
8ths and 16ths, if not also 30 seconds.
Absolutely, yeah.
The thing is so much of the movement is also done in time with the rhythm that
I believe it
actually doesn't throw you off too much. You feel almost in a flow state a lot of times. You will get locked into a flow with this run, and it is practically a Zen state sometimes that I absolutely love just feeling when I'm running this game.
Coming up next, we have Nile, which features the fastest track in the game at 140 beats per minute, and also the slowest boss fight. That's all my notes for this level. I don't have anything else written down.
Well, I criticized you for having not taken notes earlier. But
I took so many notes, dude.
Okay, well, that's good, because I was going to say I actually didn't take any notes for this level, which is the issue. So it seems you have come back from behind to take the crown on the notes taking.
What is still alive? Did a marionette go through the floor?
Oh.
A little bit.
And that's just called RNG.
Huh. Apparently we can get soft locked on this boss if we damage it too fast as well. So don't go too fast, James.
Thankfully, don't really have to worry about that in this run as much as the 8 Hells run.
Oh, fair, yeah.
It is worth mentioning, compared to the 8 Hells run, normally we would be getting a second level in the sigil that gives us extra damage on low health, so we would be doing 100% instead of 50% like we are now, so we're doing a little bit less damage than we would be in the 8 Hells run. But speaking of notes, honestly, this run is almost like an open notebook test, because James has done such an incredible job cataloging and writing so much stuff about this run. If you are watching this game now and you think this music sounds awesome and this game looks awesome and I want to give this a try, you absolutely should. And James has put a whole bunch of work into making a lot of incredible resources to help you along that way.
Yeah, we genuinely can't say enough nice things about how diligent the note-taking and aggregation. These are not Cliff's notes, honestly.
No.
You can read over it and then take it one level at a time, and you will probably learn the majority of what you need aside from the feel of how the game controls. We got some fans of speed metal in the chat, to be sure, who were talking about this being the fastest song in the game. They're like, 140 is not that fast. And I'm like, yes, but remember you have the weapon that can attack at double the current track's BPM. Try aggressively timing out sword slashes at 280 BPM.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning this game, while the sound design is like a drum kit, it's not just a drum kit. You are still strategizing and having to make a lot of decisions along with playing at 140 BPM, which is pretty fast. So
that too. Can you keep your brain clocked that high constantly?
Yeah.
While also figuring out how to play the game.
Keeping it that high constantly while improving and strategizing is absolutely what it is.
And speaking of speed metal, shout out to Bjorn Speed Strid for doing the vocals for Nihil. So I know that my speed metal fans were probably picking up on that as well.
How was it pronounced? Nihil? I thought it was Nile, like nihilist.
You'd have to ask Paz. I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
I
And if you
haven't
like
played
speed,
with the
we also have
commentators
a lot of
since-
events coming up soon with a lot more speed running, like GDQX, which is back at TwitchCon San Diego in just over a week's time, October 17th and 19th, benefiting the World Central Kitchen. You can check out the schedule for GDQX at gdq.gg/schedule. And Games Done Queer, which is coming up October 31st to November 2nd, highlighting queer and LGBTQIA+ runners, benefiting the Lambda Legal Defense and Education Fund. Prize submissions for that one are still open until the 25th of October. If you'd like to donate a prize to GD Queer, visit gamesdonequick.com/prize-guide for more information.
And the schedule for that release is Thursday, right?
Yes, it is tomorrow.
Awesome. Nice little safe spot here until that last wave comes out. And now we pop the Hellcrow's ultimate just to try and take care of enemies that spawn right behind us.
So I noticed when fighting this aspect that you see like multiple forms of that aspect. Is it one of these fights where like two of them are an illusion and one's the real one, or can you just kind of attack any and all of them?
Two of them are an illusion, one's the real one, or sometimes three, sometimes one, but the real one is always consistent 100% of the time. Fun, challenging gimmick when you're first learning it, but once you learn the pattern, it is very easy. Which is why I say that this boss fight is basically an auto-scroller. And hey, no soft lock, yay! Woo! We don't have to completely replay that level or load the backup save that I have.
Oh, good.
I had a backup save made for just after Nihil, or just in case that soft locked us so that we didn't have to replay the entire level, because I had a feeling it would probably be just a little bit faster to reload the save.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit. Probably not 6 minutes long. You're into Acheron. Oh, this is fun. Shoutouts to Resvik, legend of the rhythm gaming community in general, rhythm FPS community, I should say, for routing that initial damage down.
Yeah, very smart. If the game lets you, why not take advantage of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that damage down is about half of my notes on this level, right next to, there's a lot of RNG in the boss fight that's coming up.
Yep, up to about a minute of time swing.
And my two notes here actually say, this vocalist is really good, and also, why are there so many cranes?
You can see a little bit of the sci-fi influence that the game had in very early development, in this level especially, but they moved away from that in later development.
Also, on the note of, things being like hell, if you've ever been near an active construction site and tried to sleep or anything, that's its own form of hell. So I think that's part of why there are lots of cranes around.
That is true. Are we adding that to our headcanon of hell? It's the Windows interaction box staircase while operating a crane, mayhaps?
Or near an active construction site, yeah.
Near an active construction site. I think we should add spreadsheets in there also.
While on a conference call working on a spreadsheet, yes.
Absolutely.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Not Hellfire?
Yeah. No, that's
gas-powered Hellfire.
right.
I think there's a King of the Hill reference about that. I can't remember it off the top of my head, though.
I think it goes something like, whoa.
I think that's right, yeah.
Do I look like I know what a Hellfire is? I just want to keep a 16 times combo.
Hank, is that you?
Oh, these boys ain't right. Anyways.
It's very hard to not laugh at Keep Rhythm.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I should have thought about that.
That was a very solid impression, though. Very well done.
No, I
Keith.
was shocked. That was very good.
I should have known you had
Well,
that in your back pocket. But
I
still.
am from the South. It comes with the territory.
Yeah, that's fair. Ooh, probably need to do a safety heal here. I've got a good spot to damage down here.
I was going to say, yeah, we've kind of almost gotten used to it at this point, but it cannot be understated how impressive it is that you are staying at as low of health as you are the whole time. Like, you kind of take it for granted when you watch the run because you just think it's normal, but it is so incredible that you're playing this whole game this well at this low of health.
This is one of those arenas where you really just have to improvise your feeling through it based on the spawns that you get. For example, that Hierophant has 5 different spawn locations. Some of these Cambions have 2 or 3. The Seraph that's about to spawn has 2. That Seraph is consistent, though. Don't get Thunderdomed by these 2. And yes, I called that arena the Thunderdome because those 2 will enter and one of them will leave. Whether it's the unknown or one of those stalkers after killing the unknown, we'll find out. But
When I was
those
first trying to
stalkers
learn
take me
this
out a
game,
lot.
My goodness, I was watching James's ILs and referencing the bestiary constantly, and I could not keep track of what was happening because an enemy would spawn and it would blow up in blink and if you miss it. I don't know what most of these things are called.
This is going to be an odd reference, but it's almost like when you're watching a streamer playing Balatro and you're trying to figure out what jokers they picked up.
Jokers, sure.
And you're trying to pause it. It's exactly like that. You're like, man, I wish he wasn't going so fast so I could figure out what all these monsters are.
Yeah, or a little more on the nose in terms of other rhythm games. Rift of the Necrodancer, trying to ID the different types of enemies and then the colors of those enemies to know what their patterns and abilities are at a glance as they come down the track at you. It's a lot to wrap your brain around.
Yeah, shout out to traditional rhythm game runners. They have a skill set I cannot replicate.
I would expect it to at least be like a semi-permeable membrane. Some of the skills pass back and forth, but they're definitely asking somewhat different things of you all the same.
You know, what's odd is if I could say, like I said, I run BPM, which is a different rhythm FPS. I am so bad at rhythm games, you wouldn't even believe it. I am horrible at rhythm games. So I think some of the skills do in theory pass over, and I think for most people they do transfer very well, but some of them don't very clearly, because they did not transfer for me.
Luck's looking good so far. The boss has a bad attack pattern it can throw at us, and each one loses about 10 seconds if they do. We've skipped one so far. Skip 2 so far. Being extremely lucky.
There's that Terminus Ultimate again. Or I'm sorry, Vulcan Ultimate.
It's okay. I call the weapons the wrong name all the time. Except the Hounds. The Hounds I always call good boys. That's 3 attacks skipped. Oh, not quite. A little early there, but hey, we still skipped it. There we go.
I assume we're gonna damage down at some point just a little bit.
Well, that means we just jump in the water here.
Oh, nice. How kind of the devs to put that there.
Yep. Harmful to casual players, but very useful for speedrunners.
I mean, technically also harmful to speedrunners, but, you know, on
It
purpose.
can be.
It's a good kind of harmful.
And there's the only time loss that we have, but that's going to be a pretty big gold split there.
Nice.
We saved about 30 seconds there with just the boss fight alone.
Yeah, good
That
pattern
was
on that
pure
boss.
good patterns, yeah. Heading into the last level, some famous names coming up here for the last 2 songs of the run. First part of the last level is sung by Dennis Lixon of Envision, Refused, and for my Cyberpunk 2077 fans out there, Samurai. So wake the heck up, Samurai, we've got a hell to burn.
As we can see, once again, more of Hell's characteristic staircases.
Right. I can't imagine the soles of most shoes hold up under this kind of heat, so you are probably hoofing it, pun definitely intended, up the stairs on your own 2 feet.
Yep, and there we go. We are finally on critical health, so we're going to be able to do our 50% more damage. Like I said, in the non-fresh file 8 Hells run, it would be 100% damage, but it's not just quite worth. It's not quite worth it to do the extra torment for the fresh file run.
Yep, every Death's Edge tournament is about 2 minutes long, and the other 2 come so much later that it ain't worth it.
I will have you know, I'm keeping track. I have had to readjust my headphones 7 times now from the headbanging.
Excellent. I would expect nothing less than keeping track of a statistic like that from such a meticulous community.
That's never happened before.
Yeah, the slightly unexpected out of bounds, but it didn't take us down, so we worked with it.
It wouldn't be a GDQ run if that's never happened before didn't happen.
So you're saying that it has happened before?
No, that has genuinely
That's
never
meta.
happened before.
It wouldn't be a GDQ run if something that has never happened before happened.
Ah! Well, that's unfortunate.
It's
Bad geometry.
fine. We didn't need that health anyways.
No, we
Has
really
that one
did.
happened before?
Yeah, that one has. That's called level
Okay.
geometry, just being mean.
Okay, I got you.
You'll learn that a lot of the edges in this game are very slippery. That Void Stalker had the worst aim I have ever seen. While I proceed to replicate it for chat. Hey, gotta make fun of yourself at least a little bit, right?
Hey, you have done so incredibly well
You are
for all
doing-
of this run.
Yeah, you're destroying this level, James.
Oh yeah, we're
You've
doing great.
earned a
We're
few missed
cruising.
shots. It's like a diet.
Yeah,
Well,
and
the
genuinely,
Vulcan also
being
just does
being able to
not
poke
like-
fun at yourself is like it's showing that you're locked in enough. 'Cause I feel like if you were actually genuinely nervous, that probably wouldn't be happening. So it is a just reward for a job very well done.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, double attack of that type from the Siege Behemoth. That is rare, but has happened before. I just am glad I get to show off all these cool use cases of all the backups. And the acid from the... Of course, the eyeless had to get one more in on me.
Just one, though.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's why we got 3 revives.
Exactly. That is exactly why we run this on Lamb and not on Goat. Because the Red Judge is an experience. Y'all have been waiting for Serge Tonkian. I'm gonna let y'all have it. Here we go.
All right, volume all the way up, everyone.
Oh, wow, look at those, yeah. Yeah, the Red Judge is so much... The other bosses have bullet hell elements, but you have not seen bullet hell until you have seen the Red Judge very clearly.
Oh, we haven't gotten into the best part yet.
Oh!
This is the hard part now. The opening's just an amuse-bouche.
An excellent choice of terminology for that.
Ooh, got the fast pattern there. Thank you, Red Judge. You're playing nice here at the end of the run. You don't normally do that. Your aspects, not so much. That's a normal thing that happens, sadly. Not so much in the 8 Hells run, but in the new file run, it's not too uncommon to have the aspects move on you.
And the last instance of using Pez here to keep up the Fury meter before we finish off the Red Judge.
The judge gets one in. That is a rarity. The judge just had to get the last one in.
On the last hit. I shouldn't have said anything. I
On
think I
the
jinxed
exact
it.
last hit. Commentator's curse from Ryle So.
I'm gonna.
But that
I
will
think I
be
did
time.
that earlier also. That one's on me.
That'll be time in just a moment. It's all good. Hey, this has been an amazing one. We're gonna come in under estimate by a good couple of moments. And time is on the fade to black right there. Perfect.
GG's.
GG's.
Jeez.
104.19
Fantastic job.
on my splits. I think that's what? Around just about 107 RTA?
No, like a 106.38.
Hey, not bad. Not bad at all. This was really, really fun. Thank you so much for having me, T-Tree. Chat, if you enjoyed this run, T-Tree, I hope you don't mind me plugging something else real quick, but if you enjoyed
by all
this
means.
and you want to see more Metal Hellsinger, tomorrow I will be running Metal Hellsinger 8 Hells, the faster version of this run, basically, on Fastest Furs Fall Fest, raising money for Trans Lifeline, trans rights. Shout it out. So if you want to check that out, please swing over to the Fastest Furs Twitch channel. They'll be going live tomorrow. And hey, you'll get to see hopefully a much faster format of this run. I'll have my good friend and more or less rival in the Hellsinger community, Cheeky8, doing commentary for that run. That being said, if you enjoyed this run and you enjoyed the game, please check out the game. Go pick it up. Was on sale on Steam very recently. The DLCs also go on sale very, very often. Show the outsiders some love while they're searching for new jobs in this trying time. And I think I'll leave it at that. Ryle So, Pickled, T-Tree, anything else you all want to say?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, same. Thanks for inviting me on, man. It's been a blast.
Literally could not have done it without you two on comms.
Yeah, I fully believe that. Otherwise, it kind of just turned into a music appreciation class while James
really
quietly played the game.
It really would.
Although,
That's what a lot of my streams are when I'm practicing this, admittedly.
mayhaps we would have saved about 10 seconds in the final fight if I hadn't been commentating, but it's okay.
Oh, we probably would have saved a few minutes on the run if I hadn't been jumping in, but it's more fun like this. And I think that chat hopefully enjoyed this a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And for me, what I'll say is thank you to all three of you for being here, for showing us a hell of a good time. For those in chat who are just showing up now, I saw somebody say they're, unfortunate they missed the run. But if you want to catch up on past shows, special events, and marathons, you can go over to youtube.com/gamesdonequick and subscribe there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all things GDQ. But yeah, so that was a rhythm roguelike on Out of the Box, the show about... And welcome back to Out of the Box on the Games Done Quick Hotfix. My name is T-Tree, and coming up next, we have something really special for you. There's all sorts of reasons why you could assume I had this run on the show. Is it as a counterpoint to all of the remake runs of this franchise that you'll likely see over the course of this month? Is it just so I could say, Resident Evil? And those things are all true, but mostly because I am a big fan of this runner and wanted to feature something from her that is able to be shown on this show. She has an extremely deep well of runs, and when I said, hey, what you got for Halloween? She was like, Resident Evil 3? Absolutely. So, Abby's Corner, show us some stars in a Japanese version light difficulty run of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Hi, everybody. So, joke's on you. It's not Resident Evil. It's Biohazard 3.
Oh, true.
Yes, that's right. In Japan, it's called Biohazard. Fun fact about that, they were going to call it Biohazard in the West, but there's a German band named Biohazard, so they had to change the name. But with me, I am not alone. I have the great Marforia with me on commentary.
Hello, everyone. Abby, thank you so much for having me today.
Yay. Also, does anybody have a costume preference? Because the PC version just gives you all the costumes right away.
Ooh, what about Regina from Dino Crisis?
That's an excellent choice. I like it.
I hope it's number 5, because I don't remember which one it is.
Well, it'll be a surprise.
Right. So in 3...
I do believe it is actually number 5.
Okay, cool. So in 3, 2, 1, let us begin the run. Now, you might be wondering why run the Japanese version, because obviously the GOG version has it in English and etc. That's because it runs terribly if you have it installed in English. So you want the Japanese version if you want to, one, speedrun the game because the timer only works with the Japanese version, but also because the game runs awful if it's in English. I don't know why. And it is, in fact, number 5. That is the Regina outfit. Of course, Dino Crisis also came out the same year of this game, though the PC port didn't come out until 2000. And so it works. If you wanted the most PC-rich feature, but you wanted a console, you want the Japanese Dreamcast version. For whatever reason, the Japanese Dreamcast version has a bunch of PC features, but doesn't have
September 28th, daylight.
them in the English version.
The
For whatever
monsters have
reason.
overtaken the city.
It's really weird.
Somehow,
Also, the game is
love
still
that.
very
I'm
English.
still alive.
I just love how it's called light mode, light and heavy mode, because it reminds me of DDR and the difficulties.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. If you ever look on the speedrun board and you're like, why is there an easy, a heavy, and a hard, and a light? It's because the different versions have different names. So now I'm just grabbing the key, and because we're on light difficulty, we don't have to worry about many things because check out all of this ammunition and what have you. So that's right, you automatically start with the shotgun and the Magnum in your inventory. So that's one RNG thing less that you have to worry about. Because we have the Magnum, we don't need to worry about the grenade launcher. So it's like, huzzah, which is great. As we're going to head to meet Brad, but we don't know that Brad is in here. But surprise, he's going to be coming out right here. Fun fact about Brad's voice actor, he actually lives in the same city that I do. And he also streams on Twitch under the name OG Brad Vickers.
He's so nice. He's the nicest guy ever.
I've seen a lot, especially from the voice actors who participated more in the early Resi games. They just really love to lean into that about themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen the same to be true of Wesker's original voice actor.
Yes, also, side note, speaking of Wesker, Wesker's 4 remake voice actor also lives in the city as well. He also streams on Twitch.
Talk about a city full of stars.
So we're gonna hopefully, good, we were able to skip that one. Now, in terms of the fastest method for getting through here, I'm not 100% sure if turning around to the first door is it, or if running and grabbing the lighter and then going to this door is it. Because if you click on that door, no matter what, you have to watch Brad do 2 shots to the zombie. Also, you have to wait for him to kill the zombie regardless of whatever you choose, for it will not allow you to move. And then we got this zombie, never trust it, so I'm just like, all right, take care. And then we're going to move, And then hopefully they don't break out. Again, it's RNG whether they're going to break out right away or give you some breathing room. I also want to make sure that I'm in the right spot, because if you're a single pixel off, the game goes, no, I cannot use that item. And it's like, but I'm staring at it? No.
Yeah, that was always the final piece of inventory puzzles in these games is, do you have the right items? Are you combining them in the right order? And are you standing on the correct pixel?
So now we're going to get introduced to Nemi, and this is also where Brad dies.
Unfortunately.
Hence why you can see him in RE2, because technically we're here a day before Leon and Claire get here. I'm selecting option 1 because fighting Nemesis on light difficulty makes no sense because he doesn't drop anything for you. So every option I'm going to be choosing is to just not have to deal with him. Now, what kind of RNG do we have here? We have the bad zombie RNG here. So we're going to go this way. Luckily, they're spread out enough. But we have to remember that on the way back.
I mean, let's be real, especially with the character arcs of the characters in the early Resident Evil games, not dealing with it is basically the canonical choice for everybody.
I mean,
we got we got a rookie cop, we got a college student, like nobody's prepared for what's happening here.
You're not wrong.
They'll be hardened real quick.
Granted.
So with that puzzle that I just solved, there are 4 different options, and it's completely random which one you're gonna get. And so that one was 4011. The only other one that I didn't use was 4312. And it's pretty much just a guessing game. I don't even know how you would find out the correct answer for that. But we also don't have time to go find the correct answer. Otherwise, we're going to sit there forever. And we're speedrunning. We don't have time to wait. So we hear from Carlos or somebody. We don't know who it is yet.
It's Carlos.
Shh, it's secret. We can't let it be known that we played this game like 16,000 times, and now we have Nemi's introduction again. Again, we're just gonna run. He will chase after you. He will chase after you in every room, which is not nice. But don't worry about it. We made it through. For whatever reason, he hasn't been chasing me into this hallway, and I don't know if it's because I'm selecting the option to just run away from him, because I believe if I had have selected the fight option and just ran away from him anyway, he would have chased me into the main hallway. So basically... I
was going to say, to my knowledge, he doesn't chase you into the main hall, whether you pick the choice at the beginning or not. He'll normally chase you for about 5 rooms, like regular rooms, but he doesn't chase you into save rooms or that main hall, if I remember correctly.
So we basically went into the RPD to be like, hey, I need a lockpick, which basically looks like a paperclip. And I'm like, Jill, you could have gotten a paperclip from home, maybe. But that is the only reason for the RPD. And again, we are here a day before Leon and Claire show up. And I'm just like, who unboarded all of these doors and whatnot? Because
or who went around boarding them up between this and the next day?
Well, supposedly the outbreak's been happening. I think the outbreak starts on the 27th. I think. Don't quote me on that. But still, it's just kind of like, And then we're introduced to the first enemy that can poison us, / also they like to try to like eat our brains. It's like, please don't. Again, if they spit at you and the spit hits you, you will be poisoned. It's no fun. The other enemy that can do that are spiders. Again, blue herbs, very helpful for that. Next, we're going to grab this. We're never going to get rid of the lockpick. We're going to use it one more time, though. And then we're going to select option 1 again, so we don't have to deal with Nemesis as much. If you choose option 2, you'll explode the restaurant, but he'll like get back up and chase you again. Whereas here, it's just like, oh, I guess I don't know where they went and everything's fine. Never mind the fact that the basement's flooding, but whatever, it's fine.
You
So-
also have the option to not make a choice at all, and the game will make a decision for you, but you will take some sort of damage doing it that way. So you've got to choose quick.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much time you have. Oh, okay. I'm getting comboed here. Always fun. Okay. I'm
Slightly
gonna-
mobbed. Yep.
I was like, oh, okay, game. Don't go into the save room, by the way. If you go into the save room, Nemesis will be waiting for you. Very bad choice going in there. Now, I could have gone to the newsroom first, but Nemesis would have been in there. And I have no idea what either of those choices do. There's a couple of spots where you can choose to go somewhere and Nemesis will show up and be like, hello, I'm here to see you. And you're like, oh no. Also, if you chose option 2, Nemesis would show up in here as well. Once you grab the green diamond thing, the thing that's going to open up City Hall. And it's like, huzzah. But since we chose option 1, he doesn't show up at all, which is very nice because he can just be like, I'm going to grapple you forever. And it's not going to be fun. However, I am
of course they're using a green, gem to keep, like, who doesn't secure their municipal buildings with odd baubles and jewels that they find lying around?
Well, also, in
That's
Resident Evil
just
2,
how commerce gets done.
yeah, in Resident Evil 2, the police station's riddled with puzzles with gems and medallions and things of that nature. So I guess we all have time to find these things and put them in places.
Yeah. Raccoon City was founded by a group of hoarders. They just made all their favorite things the keys to different buildings.
You might say that they were raccoons.
Aha.
So again, it doesn't matter what order you put them in, you just need to put them in. And of course, we're opening 2 inventory slots right now, which is really nice. Now, you could have gone and gotten the rusted crank, so that way you could have gotten the first piece of oil, or the piece of oil from the gas station. However, doing that causes extra dialogue to happen. Carlos tries to give you items, and also it's an unskippable cutscene because you're like, we don't know where Nikolai is. He's not joining us. I understand. And gives you flame grenade rounds. But if you do it after the pharmacy, Nikolai's the one who tries to kill you in the gas station by lighting it on fire. And you don't get that dialogue at all. You just get to, like, skip a cutscene. It's great. There's also a cutscene that you can get if you don't get all the items to start the train car, or streetcar. But what are streetcars other than kind of funky trains? Where Mikhail is fighting some zombies. There's no reason to come back here to see that. But it is an option. So there we go. And then we meet Carlos and Nikolai. Putting that on in light difficulty does not give you the extra inventory space. So it's just like, here you go.
Yeah, you start with the full 10, right?
Yeah. And then we finally have the wrench. We will be using the wrench twice. So right now we're doing what I like to call inventory trade, because we'll be picking up an item here that allows us to trade for, because basically we need 3 items, and the last one being the battery to activate the lift to go into the power station. But we can't grab the compass to turn the statue around without the book, because if we try to grab the compass without putting in the book, basically an unending waterfall breaks our path. So it's like, oh, well, okay then. So that's why we have to do a bit of an item trade. Oh, I didn't realize I was out of ammo. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Luckily that guy's knocked down on the ground for now. Definitely gotta
Excellent
pay
use of shoulder charge.
Indeed. Just have to make sure that I guess he's did he? Nope, there he goes. I have to keep track of how many shots I'm using, because reloading in the menu is faster than reloading through animation. And so it's like, huzzah. Carlos, why wouldn't you fight the zombies? I actually thought I was about to get bit there, and I was going to be like, oh no, because sometimes Jill likes to get hung up on walls. So yes, we'll be running back and forth for a second, because again, we've got to do that item trade. So there we go. And then we're going to go back to the statue to get the battery. Because somehow putting a compass in an arm causes the statue to completely turn around, which makes no sense at all. But you know what? 1998's weird.
Something magnetic north. Don't think about it too hard.
I'll take your word for it.
That shotgun spread was very far. That's impressive.
Yeah, the shotgun goes really far in this game. There will be times where, like, you're on the other side of the room and it's like, oh, you have hit this person with a perfect headshot. And you're like, I didn't even see that person. But okay. Cool. Also, despite the fact that this is the Japanese version, it is uncensored. If you were to play the console ports of any of the Resident Evils in Japanese, their heads would not pop off. You would just see them, like, it would make the noise, but their heads would still be attached. But for whatever reason, the PC version does not have that, which is very interesting. So now we're just running back. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you'll notice throughout the run, different enemies will pop up and stuff like that. The area where Abby just ran through with the crows, that can be either crows or dogs. And that's something that's really interesting about OG Resident Evil in general, is that the run is full of RNG, just tons of it, coming down to the enemies, the puzzles. Some puzzles are static, but a lot of them are RNG, like the puzzle in the police station with the little locker and things like that. So that's kind of what helps keep this run fresh and spicy and things like that.
Yeah. The puzzle I'm actually about to do is one of the static ones. Yay, knockdown. So this will always be the same, though there are two solutions for different things. The second room there will give you either the Magnum or the grenade launcher. Again, whichever one you don't get in the RPD is going to be here, but we don't need to worry about that, so we're just going to do red, blue, 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 which gives us the fuse room. And then we're going to intentionally summon Nemesis. So there's two options here that'll give us. If we do option 2, Nemesis won't be around until after we're done with the pharmacy. However, I want him now, because that way we won't see him till after till we're ready to leave the city. So he pops up here. However, it is a bit of RNG whether he'll stop chasing you after you're done here. So sometimes, depending on things, I'm not exactly sure what the values are, this is where he ends. However, sometimes he will chase you until you get back into the car park, though typically you won't see him. And it looks like we've got the option where he's not going to chase me at all, so we won't see him until we're leaving the city.
Imagine him riding that elevator.
You're right. Just quietly, like elevator music playing, him humming to himself.
And then there we go. We've got dogs. There will be more multiple choice as we go here. Though for another enemy that we won't see for like a long time after we're done with the city. So there we go. Dodging.
Nice.
Again, dogs are favorable over zombies because they are more dodgeable. Sure, they're more likely to be a wall, but they're much more easier to deal with. Now, if you're wondering why I talked to the fire hydrant before grabbing it, it's because, again, you need to be in a certain position. But if she talks to it, you know you're in the right position. So it works out. Because that one wants to be a little extra finicky. No, we have zombies. Bad zombies. How dare. Again, I prefer to have dogs there because I think it's like 9 zombies to 3 dogs. And I'm like, 3 dogs is much more reasonable to get through.
to say nothing of the fact that dogs can't exactly grab you with opposable thumbs or anything. So
No, but they can
Your
grab you with
radius-
their teeth.
teeth, right? But it seems like the radius for zombies to grab is a little more aggressive. Which is why you were describing dogs easier to get away from, yeah? Or is that at least part of it?
No, they're not as grouped together.
I see.
They're more spaced out, so it's like, huzzah, uh-oh. We're getting comboed again. They want my brain. They want my brains. So here we meet Nikolai. He kills one of the dudes, and he's like, his excuse is zombie. But story-wise, it's like, no, there's a reward, and I want all the money to myself. So we're gonna try Safsprin. Yes, it is. What's the
this
word
is
I'm
one of
looking
the
for?
RNG. This is one of the RNG puzzles, and Safsprin's the most common password there. It could be two different ones. It could be also Adravil or Aquacure, and Aquacure is the very rare one. So let's see if Adravil works here.
No, it's Aquacure. How?
Oh, goodness. Goodness. Yeah, you'll see some runners, they will reset over something like this because time is of the essence.
Yes. So there's a thing here, which is after we grab the first piece of the oil or gasoline that we're going to make. Oh, okay. So we may have had bad RNG puzzle, but right now I can make what I need to make. And you might be wondering what I mean by that. And it's the fact that I can... Actually, I can't. I don't have enough room. No! But having all three of those right now is really good because that means I could have made a triple C. Now, why is triple C important? Because that means I could make Magnum ammo because I will have to make Magnum ammo. But I made part one of... Okay, cool. Again, I wanted to be really careful with that shot because the steam does do damage and it can kill you. So you're like, oh no. Ooh, good. Very spaced out zombies, so those shots worked. Usually shooting there is a bad idea.
Imagine trying to escape the zombie apocalypse and going down to a occupational hazard. A loose steam vent.
Mm-hmm. So there we go. And again, if I had have selected electrocute the zombies, this is where Nemesis would have shown up. But because I didn't, we're good to go. Very good.
It's amazing all the different places he can pop up because, like we said, based on different decisions and all that stuff, that depends on where he appears.
Yeah, definitely a very clever way to keep a game replayable in what you'd think would be a relatively straightforward single-player game that's supposed to play out similarly every time. But they took their ingredients and remixed them very smartly.
And
yeah, absolutely.
One thing about if he's chasing you after the pharmacy, those brain guys wouldn't be in that hallway or in that alleyway. They would be gone. Now you want to select option 1 there because option 2 will actually bring you back outside, making the game be longer. Oh no.
I swear that's the funniest decision in the whole game because those boxes are heading towards you and it's either pull yourself up or fall down. And it's just ridiculous.
I have chosen to be hit by boxes. I have not yet considered the ramifications of this action, but I chose it all the same.
But think about it though, maybe she's so fast that the boxes don't hit. They just fall. And everything's
Everyone thinks they're faster than gravity.
I mean, to be fair, Jill is a former Green Beret.
That's true. You
Just
got
gonna-
your essential crank that appears in pretty much every Resident Evil game, whether it's a crank or bolt cutters, like in the newer ones.
there are actually 2 cranks. Fun fact, though the non-rusted one won't work to open the gas station, it's actually for that little alleyway where we see Brad fighting those zombies for 2 seconds and running away. I don't know what's in it, but it will not open this.
In the shutter, there's like extra ammo and stuff in there.
Oh. So now we're just opening this up and we're gonna get 2 inventory slots for free.
It's an excellent reward for solving a puzzle.
Indeed. And then we delete the whatchamacallit to make sure, and now we have the puzzle we brute force. There is a way to solve this normally, but it is faster and easier to just brute force it. Come on. Nope.
Yeah, there's a particular sequence that you follow with the different letters, and yeah, the solutions are pretty plentiful. But yeah, there is a way, like you brute force it, and it's just a specific sequence of letters there. So good job, Abby.
Yay. And then here, there's Nikolai doing it. If you, again, do this the first thing, it just randomly catches on fire, and you're like, what? Whereas there, it makes more sense that Nikolai's trying to kill you, because there's also a reward on your head. So it's like, oh, and here's Nemi after many minutes of not being around. So there we go.
I swear, I feel like before he turned into Nemesis, he was a Olympic athlete that did the 100-meter relay, because that man
the speed
is
of that
so
sprint
fast.
is terrifying.
He is so fast.
And now we get the first major run killer via enemy, because Gravedigger here can do about 1/3 of your HP, which is always fun if it hits you. So we have to turn these things on, but he'll pop out in spots. So if you're not fast enough, he'll be like, hello, I'm going to double hit you. And then you're like, ow. But if you're fast enough, why is no an option? I don't know, because why would you want to stay down there? Why, I ask you, do you want to stay down there? There's nothing there. I don't even know if he's killable here.
That's what I was going to say. If you want to find out if you can fight Gravedigger or not.
I remember when me and my brother were kids and I was watching him play, he tried fighting Gravedigger down there, and I don't know if it's killable because he died trying.
So there we go. And then recently I've changed what option I do here. But first we have to say hello to Nemesis, because surprise, he's on the train with us. And he's just like, hello. And then you just simply turn around and you're fine. However, we now have a choice to make. Do we hit the emergency brake or jump through the window? I used to jump through the window. I don't do that anymore, because that way we don't have dialogue with Carlos and he tries to give us an inventory again. So we choose option 2. And basically it just changes where you're starting. So you start outside instead of in the other end of the crash site that's on fire, that has like a bunch of burning zombies. So, run. And then we're gonna go here, go inside, and then we're gonna go here. And basically we're starting in the church part, is essentially what's happened here. Grab the first key. Basically, whatever option you choose, that key will be first instead of the other key to the upstairs. Of course, the zombies will always break out in the church part. And that's the only point that we need to deal with them. We never come back to the church part ever again. And then here comes Carlos. He's like, you're alive, but no ammo is given, and we can easily skip that. I'm going to run over here and pick this up just to bring me back up to 3, because you never know how these are gonna go. And also there's the unlimited blue herbs in case we get poisoned. Because guess what? Giant spooters are here as well as tiny spooters. Because, can't have giant spooters without tiny spooters. However, they only the tiny spiders only show up if you choose option 2. If you choose option 1, they're not here. So I'm going to pick up all 4 of these so that I can make a double C, and then I can combine those to have maximum ammo. As far as I know, you cannot combine double to get a double C. You must do it and make a C and a C and then double the C. You can't just turn a double B and a double A into a double C, as far as I know. So we're gonna go back through this door because now we can go upstairs where, surprise, he's here and fine and dandy. So we've got giant spooters. Again, spooters will try to poison you. Generally, if they're hanging on the ceiling, that is more likely how you're gonna get poisoned. So here we go.
We did mention it earlier, but yeah, arachnophobia warning. And if you'd like, we could tell you when we're out of this area so you don't have to see them again.
Unfortunately, they might be in the park as well.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen them there, but that's interesting. That's possible.
Yeah, you either have a chance of getting worms, hunters, or spiders when you're in the water part of it. So it's up, down, up, down, up.
Oh no, I was going to say, I remember where those spiders are. Never mind.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh.
No, you're good.
So we got the worst possible pattern possible because I had to change all 5 of them. It is very rare that you have to change all 5 of them. As a matter of fact, all the time I've been practicing, it's been like, you have to change like 2 of them or 3 of them. So you have to make sure that the audio matches what we initially heard. So that's why it's up, down, down, up. Apparently version 1.1 on the PlayStation, it's completely random, the order. So it's like, oh no, whereas the PC version only has 1 order. So you might be noticing the shiny silver thing. We're going to leave that there for now and come back for it because there's no point in putting it in our inventory. Also, Nemesis shows up again. We're going to choose option 1. So he falls off the clock tower and is unconscious for a while, and we don't have to deal with him in this section. And here we have giant spooters again.
Yeah, the other option, instead of pushing him off, you can electrocute him. And yeah, it's surprising that doesn't down him for a long time. He'll as soon as you get into the upstairs there, he'll just hear that door and you see him running towards you and you're like, I thought I electrocuted you.
Yeah, that's the thing, because also in the restaurant, you blow him up and he's just like, hi, I'm here. It's like, what? All right. Yeah. So it looks like
the character sheet for the Nemesis has to be very interesting. Resistance to elements extremely high. Resistance to gunshots and other piercing slightly lower.
So we are at 11 o'clock, so that means we have obsidian in the middle, amber and crystal on the other ones. Again, there are 4 possible options: 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. For most of my practice, it was giving me 5 o'clock until today, where it was not giving me that. It gave me 9 o'clock, and now 11 o'clock today.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we got Aqua Cure for the prior puzzle, and now 11 o'clock for this. Just keeping things fresh.
And now we're poisoned.
Box puzzle. Uh-oh.
So when you're poisoned, you're automatically put into a caution state, which is why she's holding her ribs. But depending how long you take, you'll be put into a caution or into a dying state. But if you're fast enough for curing it, you can be put back into fine.
Back in full health.
And then there we go. So we're heading back up, and we're almost ready for Nemi 1. So here we go. We're gonna grab this, And because I have the C sitting in the inventory, we're also going to make our triple C and then make our magnum ammo. So first off, I'm going to do that right now. Here we go. Combine these two. Use it. There we go. And then I'm going to trade that. Then I'm going to equip that. Combine those. 72. So that's 78. And then we're going to do that. And that sets up the boss fight. Because basically the reason we're letting the bell ring is because there's a note you can find where it says, when you're ready to leave for evacuation, ring the bell of the clock tower and we'll come get you. But Nemesis has other plans and he shoots it down. However, because of all the options that I've picked, Carlos shoots in here, which is why he doesn't have the rocket launcher. Does it make the fight easier? Not a clue. So he takes about 10 to 11 shots. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're also in a virus state, which is similar to poison. Ow. Demi, can you stop being so aggressive? Thank you. It'd be so helpful if you weren't so aggressive.
Yeah, and no amount of heals or anything like that will cure you from that virus state. She is indeed infected with that T virus, and that kind of sets up the lore for Resident Evil 5.
I woke up to the
when you
sound
see
of falling rain.
Wesker with Jill and her
believe
blonde
I'm
hair and
still
all that sort of stuff.
Yes. It also sets up that her aging is slower, which is why she looks so young in Dead Island, because despite the fact that that's a movie, all of the side content and stuff is canon to everything. And so it's like, oh, all right then. And it is also assumed that Leon, because he gets infected with Plaga, ages slower and what have you. So if you were ever infected with a virus in the Resident Evil universe, slow aging, among other things. Of course,
Thank you,
Sherry
Umbrella.
gets superpowers from the G virus. Jake, being Wesker's son, has superpowers. And what have you. And I believe Claire is infected with a strain of Ouroboros or something in Revelations 2 and all kinds of fun things. I think the only person that's never infected with anything that appears in more than one game is Chris.
Love that guy.
So here we're
Now-
introduced to hunters. You can't skip this cutscene. Yeehaw.
Oh, also, why are we playing as Carlos?
Because we have to get the cure for Jill, because there's a cure. Or a vaccine for the T virus in this hospital. So he's off to get it, and we have to do the most annoying puzzle in the entire game to fix that. This is the worst puzzle in the game and you will see why when I get to the 4th floor. Also, for those who have played RE3 Remake, there is no Nathaniel Barr. There is just a slight flat fracture on his left in his right arm, just below the elbow. So there is RNG to the elevator. On any given floor, you'll get zombies. We got them on the 4th floor. Boo, because there's nothing on the 4th floor. So if they weren't here, we would have nothing and everything would be fine. And whatever floor they would be on, they would be there instead of hunters. Nikolai tries to kill us. Oh no. We are getting a key to the 4th room, which has that RNG puzzle. It's quite terrible. So here we go. Turning. Now, the reason this is the worst is because there's no way to tell which one of these platforms it is. You are pushing this thing, and look how fast he's pushing this. You see how slow this is, and it could be the other side of the room for all we know. And also, if you push it too close to the sink, Carlos will push it up. So, and every time, oh, it was the first one, let's go. So this is going to be 531. Which is quite nice. hooray for first try. Which saves us a ton of time, because every time you get it wrong, you have to leave the room, re-enter the room, and as you saw, there are 2 platforms there on the other side of the room, and yes, you have to push them that slowly to the other side of the room. So hooray for some good RNG on the worst puzzle. So there we go.
That's awesome.
And we can ignore these hunters. There are 2 hunters that we can't ignore, because you can't ride the elevator if they're in the elevator. So it's like, oh joy. So we're gonna run here. We're gonna turn this on. This puzzle is also static. It is going to be 1-3A. And don't worry, these guys will wake up and try to murder you once you're done creating the other half of the vaccine. So 1, 3, and then flip the thing and hit A, and you're good.
Those hunter gammas are so cute, though. They're based off of frogs, so they look, I don't know, I think they're adorable.
And the other ones are based off of alligators. So there we go. We did it. And then I believe there's 2 different other kinds of hunters as well. Because I believe there's betas and zero, which are also frog-like, but will actually eat you. And then there's another one, I think. So this is the room where we have to kill them because we got to get back into the elevator. Also, you got to be careful because you can die from that explosion. So you want to be as far back as possible. I accidentally hit the 4th floor. There's nothing here, so it's fine, but still, it's like, oh no. So here we go, 1st floor. And again, more hunters. Please don't. Carlos, what are you stuck on? Stop it.
That cabinet.
Okay, I'm getting wombo comboed here, and now we've moved here. Uh-oh. Oh no, this is bad. Uh-oh.
Wow.
This is really bad. Okay, stop. Okay, there we go. Again, sometimes characters will get stuck in a, hey, I'm going to do the dodge motion, and it's like, that's great and all, but I can't win with you in a dodge motion. But luckily, those were the last 2 things that we had to fight, and unfortunately I had to fight them because they were just being a wall. And that's pretty much the end of the Carlos section here. Again, you don't play as Carlos that long. It's very short. But we need to get back to Jill. Also, say hello to the worms. Again, it can be worms or it can be, whatchamacallits, zombies. Also, the spiders can be changed as well. They might be the brain ones instead. And here comes Nemi. For whatever reason, it makes you face Nemi, but you can easily run away from him. You just have to turn around, and this is probably his coolest entrance, where he just runs in through. There is now a non-canon Chinese manhwa of Resident Evil where Nemesis and Birkin, I forget which Birkin, but they have a fight in the clock tower or around it, and it's really cool, but it is no longer canon, and so that makes me sad. As we're just heading out of the clock tower, and then we're going to go towards the park here. We're actually making really good time at the moment. And of course, because Nemi is chasing us, all the spiders are gone, because that's just how Nemesis is. He's just like, nah, I want to be the one that kills. You all stay out of here. And then we're gonna go in here. We're gonna pick up the park key. We're also not going to put anything in the box because we will have enough room for the rest of it. Do not try to shoot this zombie that's walking towards me. Just take the bite, because she'll aim at the barrel instead, and it will again kill.
Oh.
So it's like, oh joy. And there is a 1 in 3 option here. You will either get worms or you will get hunters, and there's something else that you can possibly get as well. This is also either the hunter gammas or zombies. Nice double shot. You saw how far away that second zombie was. So again, this is why we keep the shotgun, because for whatever reason, when it comes to regular enemies, the shotgun is great. But when it comes to bosses, we want the Magnum. But the Magnum is terrible for dealing with everything else.
That's so strange, given how in other games the Magnum basically one-shots everything. 1 or 2 shot.
Yeah, it's weird, but you know what? Like I said, like bosses, like I don't think they're like shotgun. I don't care. So that's why we have the Magnum. Like it's even with the grenade launcher. If you were to do like the grenade launcher route, you would use the grenade launcher for like Nemi and for a Gravedigger, but not for regular enemies. So now we have the puzzle that you can barely see the solution for, the appropriate solution. So it's like, but the answer is quite simple. It's you want the 2 black gears on top and the 2 silver gears on the bottom. You'll see it once the puzzle is done, but you won't see it when you need to do it, which is hilarious because it's like, oh no. So now we're down here. This is where spiders can potentially be, but it's only on your way back. It's either going to be hunters, worms, or spiders. We don't know yet. And then we're going to the park. The reason I picked up that key off that corpse is because you can't get in here without it. Also, I'm going to reload this and carry it because it's the Gravedigger fight next. So the first thing I'm going to do is run over here. And then we're going to say goodbye to the lighter, because that's the last time we need the lighter. Yes, you use it twice, and it's very far apart.
Now, we won't need to make any more Magnum ammo despite all that gunpowder being there, because we have, like, what, 50 bullets?
67.
Wow.
I believe. But you see, the bosses are sponges, so it's like, oh no. If you were to do the grenade launcher route, you would want acid rounds for Gravedigger, because that's Gravedigger's weakness. And then once we get the key and we try to crawl back under, we get another report. Again, Nikolai's been taking care of all the other Umbrella Special Forces members. And then he's like, haha, I'm here. And then Gravedigger shows up. Whoop. So there we go. And then pops up. This is where we want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reload. I don't know if that other shot hit or not. And then it's going to do these 1 pops that you see here. It's going to do it again. Come on. Again, it's going to bait me. And then, ooh, we're in danger. We're good. And then it's going to do another one of the I'm going to crawl all over the place. And there we go. And then that's the end of the park. We just have to make it back through. And then it's on to the final area, which is the Dead Factory.
Well done on that fight, by the way. Nice pivot.
You. There's also another way that you can kill him. There's a couple... Oh, you got spooters. There's a couple ways you can kill it. You can shoot it, like I did, or you can electrocute it because it'll knock over the lampposts, and it'll be like... And then once you knock over the lamppost and it gets electrocuted in the pond, but that's a little bit slower. Plus, you have to physically knock them down, so it's like, oh...
And I think Jill can get electrocuted too, right?
I think so. But I don't think she gets insta-killed. I think she gets dangered, I think. It's been a while since I've done the knock over the lamppost method. And because we killed everything in here, there's nothing that respawns or anything. But we are going to meet an old friend.
I wonder who.
So do I. I wonder who it could be. Tree, do you have any idea who it could be?
like monosyllabic, maybe? Tall, dark, handsome?
There he is.
Okay,
Nemesis.
yeah, seems about
Close
right.
enough. Close enough.
So you want to select option 1 because option 2 will actually make the game longer because you have to deal with Nikolai in a helicopter. And
That's
we
such
don't
an
want
intense
that.
scene.
Carlos.
It's pretty cool, though, not gonna lie.
I've never seen it. I only learned about what option 2 did when I sent you notes because I had no idea what the other options actually did. So right now, we're
yeah.
just pressing buttons, but please do go on.
Oh, I was going to say, so for that Nikolai in the helicopter, you can choose either to negotiate with him or shoot down the helicopter. So it's pretty cool to see how those two different scenarios can play out. He basically takes the last helicopter out, so that's not very kind of him.
No, it is not. Or you can choose to not select an option, and he just tries to kill you and until he runs out of bullets and then runs away. I at least know that much. There is a website that will tell you what all the options do. Also, there are several guides on SRC that talk about like the options and what have you, and will give you all the puzzle solutions. It's actually very helpful, and will show you like what they mean for one particular puzzle, which is the last RNG puzzle, which can be a little bit complicated to understand the first time. But once you get the grasp of what they're talking about, it's like, oh, this makes perfect sense, and it's quite easy. So we're just going to get rid of those zombies, and then we're going to head to the basement as we're about to do that final multiple choice question. As we head down here, please don't hit me. Again, better than zombies for whatever reason. I call them naked zombies, but they're all like red and veiny and stuff like that. They don't die as easy as regular zombies, and I'm like, can you please just get out of my way? Also, Jill has this problem sometimes in this spot where she doesn't want to climb up, and also if the worm grabs you, you cannot climb up until they are off of you, which is rather unfortunate. Whoops, I forgot to grab the water sample. Please grab water sample. All right, here we go. Yeehaw.
It's nice that it's literally right there, and then it's funny how there's a couple of the puzzle solutions like that where your key is literally right next to the puzzle and you don't have to hunt very far for it.
So here's how this puzzle works. Now you're gonna see it do this. This means I'm on the puzzle medium low. Pay attention to the first little thing there, and you see how it's 2 pips and then a low pip? That's how you know that it is medium low. So you're gonna see it go to show you kind of like what everything is at. You don't really need to pay attention to what your thing is at because you know that it's medium low. So all you need to do for medium low is you need to do A, right 1, and then you move on to B. And then B is also right 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. And then you go over to C, which is right 4 times, or left 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to see if you've got it correctly, you do that, and then it'll proceed to do the match. Again, it took me a while to realize what medium low, high empty, medium empty, and high low meant, but it's literally the first pip out of all the pips. Is to understand what that is. So that is the thing you want to pay attention to, and that makes this puzzle so much less scarier. And then we're out of here, and we gotta deal with worms. It's not a situation where when you move it's something different. Unfortunately, I got grabbed again. But it's fine, because they don't slow you down while they're attached to you. I need you off the stairs, so please, off the stairs. And then we're going in, and then we're going to fight the second to final Nemi, but it's funny because you immediately fight Acid Nemi and watch Nikolai get killed by Nemi, and then you go into the final boss fight directly after. So here we go. Nikolai tries to shoot us, Nemesis kills him, and then we go over to the disc placement. We're going to reload and equip and then do this. Now, one thing about this boss fight is the game wants to teach you how to defeat, how it works. You can just sit there and unload bullets on him, but there's also acid valves. So it wants to use the acid valves. But that can be a little bit of a pain to get the timing right and what have you. So I typically will just sit there and shoot it. But again, the game wants to teach this to you, so it's got a bit of an unskippable cutscene. But the timer goes down regardless, and it's about, I want to say 20 shots. I could be wrong and miscounted, but if you acid him, it makes it shorter too, but it's not something that I generally go for. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Again, it's completely random if Jill's gonna do it. Also, I did hit a valve, which is pretty funny. And then, ooh, I think that hit him. Ooh, that hit him.
Yeah, we double up.
I think so too.
Nice.
And funny thing about the acid is that it can make him lose his head. Even when he has no head, he will still attack you, which is pretty bonkers. So
That's terrifying.
it is. I think no matter what, even if you don't, even if the acid doesn't decapitate him, his head will just fall off anyways at the end of the fight. So no matter what, he's losing his head.
Load. There we go. Yeah, he just falls apart. Because I think the animation is that the game expects you to do the acid
To
shot.
abuse the acid, sure.
So it's still doing that. And then we get the greatest fanfare of all time. This won't stop until you leave. So we are stuck listening to this the entire time. And then back to shotgun because there's a couple of zombies that we have to deal with on our way out of here.
Confirmed.
So there we
All
go.
personnel evacuate immediately.
Immediately. And then we're going. Again, these zombies, completely annoying because you can never tell if they're dead, and they have more hit points, I think, than regular ones. We're about to fight 3 more that I'm like, are you dead? No? Well, curses. See? It's like, they're good to go, right? No. Not at all.
Did you kick their heads?
Yes. And then we're going.
job.
And then we find out about the missile, so we head on down. And then there's like one more you have to deal with, though there is one that's lying down that can grab you. It didn't though, so we're good. That was also the last thing we hit with our guns, because the thing about Final Nemi, I don't think he can die from regular bullets, he has to die from the rail cannon. So here we go, rail cannon time. So we have to start the rail cannon up, and then it's like there's no batteries connected, and you must connect them in order. So you must do 1, 2, 3. You can't do like 1, 2, or like 3, 2, even though 3 is literally right beside the thing. So you're like, I would have liked to have pushed that one in like right now. So
That would have
not
been
enough
convenient.
power. Yes. And so we're gonna push.
I believe
Okay.
with your regular, I was going to say, I believe with your regular guns, like you can just unload into him, but then eventually he just kind of creeps off into the corner and stays there until the rail gun hits him.
Oh.
And here's Final Nemi without his head, but he's, of course, in true Resident Evil fashion, your final boss has to transform into something bigger, right?
And it now has a new head. As you can see, it's like mouth, and it'll spit acid at you. And it's like, why do you have to spit acid?
Head, mandible, it's close enough.
And it has like these little worms that come out of his brain.
Yes. So right now he's on top of the thing. And then Jill, please push. Excellent. Pray. Now activated.
And you will have to wait until the railgun shoots through those containers before it kills Nemi. So no matter what, you have to wait twice.
Yep. But
And
that doesn't mean that it can. It doesn't mean that it won't hit him the first time. So I'm sitting in this corner to try to lure Nemi here as he just slowly goes, but also he'll try to like spit at me and it's gross and it's like, can you not try to acid? Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. And you'll know it hits because he makes a roar every time. And then I'm gonna go like this to lure him down here.
Oh, something that we didn't know there at the wall before Nemi transformed. That was Mr. X, I believe, or one of the tyrants. So he just ate one of those tyrants to help transform into this.
There's one right there too.
Wow.
And he's dead. However, because this is Hotfix, we're not going to do the fast option here. Yes, that's right. There is
Go on.
2 options. There is one where Jill just runs away, and then there's the one we're going to select. I don't want to spoil it, but you might remember a famous line from this game. And this is what happens when you select option 1. Because we can't just let Nemesis just sit here and chill and be cool, and be like, ha, I got the last laugh. No. So he tries to spit at us, we dodge, and then, yeah, that's right, we're taking him out.
Such an iconic scene.
I'll give you stars. So, again, this is not the option you want if you're on PB Pace or anything like that, but this is Hotfix, right. So we had to give the cool cinematic, I'm super awesome and cool ending.
Oh yeah, this is the swag choice, and there's always time in speedruns for swag.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And that is time. And that is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis on the PC. Technically, time doesn't end until the cutscene, but whatever. You don't control it anymore. Mar, would you like to tell the fine people where they can find you and what have you?
Sure. I'm at twitch.tv/Marforia. I speedrun Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 7. I've watched OG RE3 speedruns for many years. It's actually one of the things that brought me to Twitch. So such a really awesome speedrun. GG's again on that, Abby. And where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/Abby's Corner. I speedrun many a Resident Evil, Silent Hill. I got like 55 games to speedrun, don't worry about it. And you can also find me on Blue Sky at Abby's Corner as well. I'm doing Silent Hill F UFO endings right now as well. But yeah, thank you, T-Tree, for having us. Super appreciate it and was happy to show this game.
My sincere pleasure. Thank you to both of you for being here.
The President and Federal Council have ruled that the Bacillus Terminate operation is the best course of action for this extreme
classic static ending screen over the ending text.
Mm-hmm. Based on that fact, Raccoon City has been literally wiped
so you imagine it for yourself until, of course, the next day when Resident Evil 2 happens.
Oh no, we're now on October 1st, so we're a day after Leon and Claire have escaped. So yeah, when after Jill gets poisoned and Carlos runs to the hospital, we're October 1st, and they leave September 30th. And so it's like really weird in RE4 when they show the explosion, because I'm like, Leon, did you even see that explosion on October 1st? Or were you like already out of the city, ? So it's like,
That's a question for a different game.
indeed.
Big true.
Oh,
Yeah,
and that
thank you so much.
reminds me,
Go ahead.
one more thing about the speedrun. You must watch the credit scene. You cannot skip this because you need to show your results screen. And I believe it's about 4 to 5 minutes for that to go through. So if you're interested in running the game, keep that in mind that you need to make it to the results screen. And one thing about specifically this version of the game, if you alt-tab, the game freezes and the game stops. And I believe that invalidates the run even if you're on the credit sequence.
But this is one of the best themes ever in the series, so I would not mind watching/listening to this.
Yeah, no, we have a few more minutes here, and while I'm talking to two amazing femmes in speedrunning, I'll give you a second to shout out the Frame Fatale, the community of women and femmes who share a passion for speedrunning, gaming, and charity. In addition to the 2 flagship events, they host activities year-round in their community Discord, like the Game of the Month Club and randomizer events. You can type !FF in chat to learn more and get involved. Yeah, that is the end of Out of the Box for the evening, but that means we have an extra long episode of Creature Corner coming up after the break, so take the time to take care of yourself. Get something to eat, drink if you need to, take your medication, and come on back for more speedrunning fun in just a few minutes.